Good evening. My name is Sandra Thompson. I happen to be an attorney as well as president of an AACP, Pennsylvania State Conference. And so we are watching, we're standing here with the mainline grant and President Reese Turner. So a few things that I think is extremely important. This happens across city councils and township boroughs, and every time they're dealing with police, whether it's contracts, whether it's attempting to discipline and attempting to get someone to follow the policies. Because one of the things I did hear is there were mistakes made. The other thing that I did hear is there were violations of policy. So I also heard that in any other job, you get disciplined and you have to follow that discipline. So even the police department should not be above that. And what happens often in city councils and township boroughs all across the state and the nation is basically you get held hostage. You get held hostage by all the groups and the people and the family and the contracts and the FOP that come up and say almost veiled threats. We'll walk out, we won't police the neighborhoods, we won't do our jobs unless you do what we say. So those are veiled threats. I heard something as far as comply. A police officer approaches you, you do what he says and you comply. You shut your mouth right away and then you won't get tased, then you won't fear death. Well, we don't have a totalitarian government, because that is what that says under that form of government. So we do have a right to question police. We do have a right to ask, am I free to go or am I being detained? We do have a right to say no to searches. And guess what? We have a right that if we are a single woman in a vehicle being stopped on the road, then we have a right to drive to the nearest safe place. So that should not be aggravating to a police officer. That should not be considered disobedience or fleeing. And many black and brown people have lost their lives for just exercising that right. Many black and brown people have been tased, been choked for exercising those rights. Those are the things that we are here to speak out against. Not good policing, but policing that puts us in fear of the mere contact, the mere aggravation thought by the officer. Because if we don't comply in the exact same way that they think that we should, then we fear death, we fear abuse, we fear excessive charges. So public safety is also to the public that you serve, not just these officers. It's to the 7.1% also the minority communities. And part of that relationship building is showing that you're willing to protect them too. And if police officers are concerned about being held accountable, then they should think twice when they're on the street. Am I charging correctly? Am I profiling? Am I overcharging? Am I acting in anger? So they should think twice about what's their motivation. And that also only takes seconds for them to self-evaluate. And that is not wrong, and that's what discipline encourages them to do. And that's the difference between 8 hours and 80 hours. Because a police officer can tase, shut off his body camera, or do anything else and just lose a day pay, they'll keep doing it. So you send a message of what not to do, what policies not to violate by giving the 80 hours versus 8 hours. And then we can also then work on representation, because all the officers and family of officers that I mostly see standing up don't represent the entirety of the community. And then they also may be pressured by that blue line. But it is not about blue, it's not about black. It is about community as a whole and everybody feeling safe, not just the people with the legal gun. Thank you.